Hi P3, our focus this week is the vowel diphthong oi. So there are rules to diphthongs. They don't follow the regular vowel team rule. With these vowels, they blend together and they create one single new sound. So when you hear the sound, it's oi with the OI and the OY. So it can be confusing sometimes because you might think, is it the OY or the OY when you are spelling a word out? So there is a rule to it. When you hear the sound go in the middle of a word, we use the OI. If it comes at the end of the word, we will use the OY. For example, annoy, the sound is at the end, and you will know that it's the OY. And then if it's in the beginning, which is also the middle, most of the time it's the middle. I think there is one word where the oi is in the beginning for oyster, but for most words that have the OI, it's in the middle. Poison, it would be OI because it's in the middle. But there are exceptions, as you know, but most of the time the OY is at the end and then the OI is in the middle. So destroy. Here's a picture of a tree that has been destroyed. So destroy, if you notice, the OY is at the end. So it applies to that rule where if you hear the sound at the end, it's an OY instead of an OI for the vowel diphthong. Annoy, same thing. It's at the end. So it's an OY. Now this one is an exception. It's oyster. But you also notice that it's just that sound and then it ends. It's not in the middle, it's in the beginning. So you can also classify that as, oh, well, it's an ending sound right then and there. So it doesn't really follow that rule where it's completely at the end, but you can still just hear that single sound and then it ends with stir. So oyster. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but remember, it's not in the middle. It's just that single sound and then the end comes right after it. So you can kind of distinguish it that way because there wasn't a letter sound before it. It's just that one single sound and then the end comes after it. So that one is kind of confusing if you're trying to apply it to the rule where the OY is at the end because obviously it doesn't end with OY here. Disappointed. So disappointed, you notice that it's in the middle and that's why it's OI. So this rule goes with the rule that I was talking about in the beginning where it's in the middle and that's why it's an OI and that's how you can distinguish it. Poisonous, it's still in the middle. Poisonous, it's not in the beginning where you hear the P, but it is still in the middle because there's still a sound and then there's another sound at the end, so you know that it is not the OY. Avoid. It's in the middle. You can hear the sounds in the beginning and then in the end, and that's why it's an OY. Voice. You hear the V in the beginning and then the S at the end. And you guys remember the rule where if the C makes the sound, it's because it's followed by a E, an I, or a Y, and that's when the C will make the sound. So in voice, you can see that the C is followed by an E, and that's why it makes the sound. All right, next one is soybean. So this one too is kind of an exception because it seems like the OY, it should be an OI because it's in the middle of soybean. But this is also an exception, and you'll notice that there are other words that you will think, oh, it must be the OI because it's in the middle. But no, in this case, it's in the middle here. But then again, this word could also be what we were talking about before, where if we add two words together, because soy can be a standalone word. So if you were to just look at soy and if I hadn't added the bean, then it would follow the rule of the OY being at the end. But because I added the bean to make it a compound word, that's why it's not at the end. But if it was by itself, just soy, it would follow the rule of it being OY at the end, and that's why we would spell it that way. So it just doesn't follow that rule because I added that word to make it a compound word. Loyalty. So here also, it doesn't follow that rule. Loyalty, it's OY. Yeah, it's not at the end. It's pretty much in the middle like OY would be. So loyalty does not follow that rule. And also loy is not a standalone word. So this word does not follow the rule where OY is at the end. It follows more of the OI rule. You just have to know how to spell it. Loyalty. Foil. This one does follow the rule where the OI is in the middle. Foil. We use foil when we put stuff away or sometimes when we're putting stuff to go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I will talk more about this during our Zoom meeting on Monday. And try to think of words that you know that where the OI is in the middle or the OY is at the end. For example, boy, toy, those all end in that sound oi, and you know it's an OY because it's at the end. Think of other words that have the OI. All right, P3, have a great week. If you have any questions, please email me.